Oh my gosh, you guys, you have no idea how much of a pain in the ass this was to put together. Okay, so we're doing a Let's Play today, and the reason we're doing a Let's Play is, well, I having trouble with this episode of the radio drama that, I know a lot of people are like, you're doing a radio drama? What? Yeah, I know. Not very many people listen to it. More people should be. But it's really good. It's been a lot of fun to work on, but I'm having a lot of trouble mixing this one episode. It's the biggest challenge so far. So I was like, okay, we're gonna do a Let's Play. And originally I was gonna play this game called Digimon World, I think, 4. Yeah, but it was so boring and it was so bad that I couldn't even get past the first stage. It was that broken, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. Digimon games are notoriously bad. And so we're gonna do this instead. Alright, while Vic Manamana is waxing philosophical here, I will say, I guess, what difficulties I had in putting this together. It just, I couldn't get it to capture. I had to use a ROM, obviously, because now I do have a DS, I do have this game, but this is actually the first time I played it, was on the ROM. I just bought it, when browsing for games for my sister. And so I thought, okay, well, why don't I make a Let's Play out of this? So I had to get the ROM, I had to get an emulator that would work, because I couldn't get to capture right off my DS, and I was like, ah, fudge. It took a really long time, because nothing seemed to work. I tried several different programs, it was always a driver error or something. So anyway, yeah, for those of you who don't know, Fullmetal Alchemist is my favorite, anime. And, so I figured I'd play the game, and I thought it was gonna be bad, because I tend to think games based on movies and anime are just kind of bad most of the time, I don't expect them to be any good. They do have the original voice actors for this. You can tell that's Vic Manamana and, Aaron Dismuke, too. I'm thinking this game was made long after Aaron's voice had changed. And, therefore, I was gonna say, wait a minute, so if it was made after Aaron's voice had changed, I'm assuming they took, like, stock clips from the recording process and put them in here, because, that's very clearly little bitty Aaron. Anyway, I expected this game to be really bad. I was having fun playing it, and, I was like, you know what, I think this is actually a pretty darn good game. It's a very standard, beat-em-up side-scroller. But at the same time, it followed the story of the anime really, really well. You could tell the people that made this were huge fans, because this follows it just to the letter. And there's lots of little goodies in there. I'll point them out when they come up. But, the script that they're reading through here, this was an early Funimation dub. Not early, super early, but earlier. And the success, I think, of Fullmetal Alchemist is what helped Funimation, well, that and DBZ, they could probably live off DBZ for the rest of their existence, really, but get into more serious titles and more, like, otaku-centric kind of titles and become as good of a ADR licensor and everything as they could be. That's not a term, ADR licensor, by the way, I'm just mixing terms. And, that great dubbing company, I love them, and, so, yeah, this great Ed, push your total cynicism on someone else. The point I was getting to here is this is an earlier Funimation dub, which means it's kind of liberal. They did change the script around a little bit. I say kind of, because they didn't change anything serious. I love the Fullmetal Alchemist dub. It has some issues, but I like the changes they made. Things sound more natural. It's just, generally speaking, I think it's a good dub. And, they didn't change anything in the footage. People are like, oh my gosh, they changed a bunch of stuff. No, it just little things like they would give Ed jokes and stuff like that. Like, he has a joke, I can't see a church social down here when they go to the basement of Cornell's lair and shit like that. That totally was not in this up. And also the line, great Ed, push your total cynicism on someone else. I think in the original Japanese, I've seen the show several times, it was just like, Nissan or something like that, brother. And, yeah, so that kind of thing. That's what I mean by this game being obviously very, what's the word? This game made by fans, because the Funimation got out their dub script and had it to the letter. They didn't just translate what was in the Japanese game script. They put in what was said in the English dub of the series, word for word. So that's kind of funny. Anyway, that took a long time to explain. Okay, so as you can tell, this is a DS game, which means it uses the touchscreen, and from what I've gathered from video demos and stuff like that, you're supposed to be able to pull off these massive combos occasionally. I don't know if it has to do with the little revolving crests down there or whatever. I'm trying to remember what the family crest is called. Right here I was trying to get this vault to open, and all I had to do was walk 2 steps closer to it. But anyway, so you do use the touchscreen for alchemy, and I want to know how you can pull off those massive combos, but I haven't figured it out. I played this game totally blind. I didn't look up anything about the controls. Part of what confused me is the A and B buttons were switched from what I was used to. But here's an example of using the touchscreen. This is the only time you use it that in a very dexterous manner in this level. You just draw a triangle and within the time limit, and it opens up this vault and you go in. But for the most part, it's a side-scroller, beat 'em up. A lot of fun. Anyway, Al's too big to fit, which was not in the anime, but it makes sense. Ed's got to go on alone for the beginning of this, and I like the way Cornello's mouth moves when he laughs. Let's see if it'll show up here in a minute. We'll see. And these are all little original lines, because obviously this chase scene through the catacombs didn't happen. They just faced down Cornello. But like I said, this is still really faithful to the anime, like incredibly so from what I've seen, and Again, we'll be playing this blind. I'm not going to look up anything, and I'm not going to play ahead while you guys aren't watching. So I figured out everything as I went, and I was like, okay, so now I use the alchemy, and I make a wall. And, oh, okay, so well, I'm going to fall on the spikes anyway, better than make another one. And I was like, oh, I walk on top, oh, okay. So yeah, it's kind of fun, and it's a neat use of, and that's, similar to what he did in the show. I think it's kind of cool. Was I saying something earlier about, we didn't get to see Cornello's mouth move funny. I guess you see that later. Anyway. What else is there to talk about here? Oh, shit! I fell in a hole. But yeah, in the anime, this is the first 2 episodes of a 50-episode show. So I don't know how far this game goes. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it at least gets to Greed, because I really want to fight Greed, and I don't know if it'll let me do that in the game. Don't spoil it for me if it doesn't. I intend to play through this, but yeah, I was originally expecting this to be kind of a shitty game, and it's a lot of fun. The controls are completely fluid. What you're seeing me do here is the first run through, and well, besides, you know, first turning it on, realizing I couldn't record, because that took forever, but once I got to this point, this is first run-through stuff, and I was doing pretty well. The only thing that confused me is I'm used to A being jump and B being attack in these kind of games, and, well, not these kind of games, just games in general, because I don't play that many of them, but it's reversed here. A is attack, and B is jump, and that confused the fuck out of me. So I was like, ha! And I would be jumping over something, and then they would smack me with a spear, and I was like, oh... Okay. But still, doing pretty well for a first run. Oh my god, that hopping cow there? Okay, so that's Hiromu Arakawa, the writer of Fullmetal Alchemist, when she, as you know, most people that write manga, or draw, I guess, pictorial versions of themselves in some form, on screen like that. Excuse me, not on screen. I lose my train of thought. Guys, it's been a long day. I've been working on this radio drama, and it was not finishing, and blah, blah, blah. But she draws a caricature of herself as a cow. Like, there's a better picture of it. That statue there, the one that's not the god Leor or whatever, is a little cow in a tutu with glasses. That's how the author of the original manga draws herself when she's, like, addressing the audience or in extras at the back or stuff like that. So, and really, anybody that's an FMA fan knows that, and I didn't have to explain it. But if you're not, follow trivia. Or if you just watch the anime, don't read the manga. Which this is based off the original anime, which I like, because I've watched the Brotherhood, and it is not awful, as I originally kind of felt it to be. I think the first... Okay, when I came in this room, I was like, oh my god, yes. First of all, it looks exactly like the room from the anime. Again, really good attention to detail here. One of the things I praised the Yu Yu Hakusho game, which I also played through for, because, you know, if you're gonna have control issues or crappy... you know, crappy elements or a short game or whatever, at least make it true to the show so fans can appreciate it. This does not have, it may be a short game, I get the feeling it's going to be a real short game, but this does not have any control issues. It's a very fun playthrough and pretty easy. I didn't die on any of this, you know, I get injured sometimes, but that's about it. So it seems pretty easy so far. I would like to learn how to pull off those massive combos.
hell it is.
Oh, Vic Phenomena is, chewing the scenery there. I like him as Ed, but it's, with video game voice acting, it's not as... you can tell the re-recorded lines sound kind of funny out of context, and, you know. Video game voice acting is always kind of... because it's always out of context, because you're just recording, okay, now this line is going to be used in this many situations, and this one's going to be used in this, you know. And also, you may have noticed Rose doesn't speak in this, like, Ed speaks, and then Rose just gets text, so I guess they couldn't get Colleen Blinkenbeard to re-record her lines, or it just wasn't in the original game, and they're like, oh, why not? But yeah, I was like, ooh, I get to fight a Chimera! Yay! Fighting a Chimera! This is fun! And, I'd seen that little cannon on there for, you know, several levels, and I was like, I want to use it, I want to use it. I kept facing the wrong way, but, see, it's lame. And then I was like, you know what? Punching him is actually quicker than using the stupid cannon. But it is fun to watch him blasted. Is his mouth move funny? Let's watch Cornello's face. Which, if you've seen the original anime, the first 2 episodes, his mouth... get down here and I'll show you some wrath. Yeah, that's totally in the dub. It's not in the sub. At least not that exact phrasing. They just kind of kept all the fun little snarky bits. He makes a door here, and I wanted to do that. Like... come on, it's a DS game. This is my, I was like, yeah, that's my one qualm with the gameplay so far. Come on, you don't need a cutscene for that. Like, make us do a touchscreen thing for that. Blah. You shouldn't have to break. Oh well. I didn't do that just to be stupid. It makes you do that. And this, I think, is the first time you're supposed to use the cannon. Oops. I used it earlier because it was fun to blow up chimeras. Anyway. Which, oh, by the way, I don't know what they are and aren't gonna do in this game. Again, the biggest thing I want to happen is the greed fight. I saw some of the promo movies where you can play as Mustang and Star and stuff, and that looks awesome, so I don't know what's gonna happen there. In fact, yeah, all those little, in the main alchemy menu, there's a bunch of little books, so that makes me think, that there's that many characters you get to play as, which would be amazing! Maybe you get to play as Barry the Chopper, oh my god. Well, no, that wouldn't make any sense. I guess if you, in that fight, you'd be playing as Alphonse, wouldn't you? It's a shame. I want to play as Barry. That would be fun. Maybe as the one of the homunculi in a fight? I don't know. Well, the homunculi can't use alchemy, so that wouldn't make any sense either. See, I'm just free associating, really, because I don't know. Okay, he did the mouth thing, I think. Oh, now what kind of... now, you can tell they were going for a different character model. When I saw that thing, my reaction was, this is awesome! That's when I decided, yeah, this is a good game. They didn't just use the same Chimera model over and over. Which this was obviously not in the anime, they use a, oh, guns. And I'm shocked. Yeah, those things pop out of nowhere, and it doesn't warn you. This game, as you may have noticed, has no tutorial. I got shot again, I guess because the wall was too close to the guns, and then I figured out, okay, good distance from the guns, there we go. As you may have noticed, this game has no tutorials. I just had to figure it out by pressing buttons, seeing what they did. But it's, you know, it's easy to pick up and play. I'm awfully complimentary to this, I guess, because I'm not a gamer, so I'm easily impressed, but I was like, I really like this one. I like this game. This is a good anime-based game. So yeah, they didn't use the same Chimera model, is what I was saying earlier. I don't know what that is. Okay, so it's red, and it has a white mane, so what animal did he... I don't know. I guess we are not meant to know, but it, yeah, I thought that one was too close, so I put up another one. Eek! Also, because I've already admitted I'm using a ROM here, I don't know how else to capture the screen. Touchscreen stuff is harder to access quickly because I have to move the mouse. I'm using a controller, a USB Logitech controller plugged in for the gameplay, and so when it's touchscreen time, I have to, and the screen is quite small because I have a big widescreen computer I'm playing this on, and so the actual screen for gameplay is pretty small, so when there's a touchscreen option pops up and I'm not paying attention, I have to drop the controller and grab the mouse and move over to the, you know, so, so sometimes I can mess up, and I don't know if that's going to be a detriment later as it gets harder or not. We'll see. So I don't know how far, this game was made long after the entire anime was finished. I don't know how long it's going to go into the, oh, his mouth's doing the thing again. It, like, it dishinges from his jaw and shit. Again, if you've seen the anime, that character is very over the top, and his jaw kind of always hinges like a big snake or something. And so, yeah. Disappointed Edward is disappointed. Anyway, long story short, I thought I was tired, and then I start yakking, and I feel better, and